Hey, what's everybody? It's Ryan George Farrer. Hey, what's everybody? It's Ryan George Farrer. So James just got done making some eggs. My friend Sean Wright messaged me. He has a YouTube channel. Um, I have a black friend named Carl James Himes on my One Ryan Farrer Facebook, and then there is he calls himself James Carno over the years, and then there's my friend James Colvin, and then there's a boy whose name was Brandon James Drexler, who hung out with a boy named Sean Shellman, and then Sean Wren has a friend named Brandon Telms. And I'm 30, and sometime when I was 26 is when I was a member of an extremist witchcraft called Bloodstar Coven, ran by a guy named Jeff McGaney, or Storms Mig, or Storms Wild. The coven that I consisted of consisted of a boy named Tyler, a girl named Maria, a boy that's name was Zach that went there. And see, only on one day when I was young, I did things with a boy named Brian, who is my neighbor, that I talked to the other day in Bel Air. And I had 5 girlfriends in my alternative school, named Alicia Mickley, Brooke Dirks, on Ryan George for Ripoff Report, Tanya Dorsey, who died 5 or 6 years ago, Nadia Pickett, and Sabrina LaRochelle. And my dad didn't buy me a car when I was like 16 or 17. But sometime about 5 years ago, or 4 years ago, is when my friend Ryan Dietrich was shot by the police, Baltimore police, and then that's when my dad got me a car. I have stomach problems where I throw up, which I got. I'm not sure why, but I'm 30, and I got that sometime when I was 5 or 26. But I've been smoking ever since I was like 18. I tried to quit, but my black friend died from the coronavirus. Also, my first girlfriend Alicia cheated on me, and there was this man that said, "If you show me yours, I'll show you mine," to me when I was little. Me and my first best friend Victor, he was my best friend at first school. And his name is Victor Hill, and he has a Facebook, but and his girlfriend is named Sarah, and she has black hair. And then my dad's girlfriend is named Margie Robichaux, and she calls herself Gigi, and her sister is named Jeanette. And I have Tourette syndrome, and that's Tourette syndrome in my neck happening right now. I used to say cuss words when I was little, and with my Tourette syndrome, I dig into my side with my fingernails, like that. I also, my voices would say things that were inappropriate around people. But really, and like I would do things like throw up the fingers at people, or things like that. But there would be times where I would drive around and people would flip the finger at me in cars or things like that, which made me sad. I feel like it's sad that things happen like that in life. There is Alex, who stole from me, that made threats to put things about me on the Vicky Rice Women's Ripoff Reports. And if she watches this and she's woman enough to comment on my videos, which she hasn't yet, she's only had conversations with my dad because she's a bitch. And no, I have no respect for her. There was one time when I was young where I choked on a piece of candy. I was almost raped by the Matt Beckner boy at my alternative school. And I got PTSD at my school. I have my friend James Colvin has a YouTube channel. Carl James Hines or James Corona doesn't have one. There is Alex that had an Instagram account that he doesn't use. And then I have my own Cloud410 Twitter and Instagram. There is Levi Carver that would leave me mean comments on my YouTube, even though all my videos had 5 dislikes on them. So this is for Levi Carver that just wanted to relate information out of me, because I know that people don't know me or don't care about me because they don't know me, even though I feel like I'm a good person, and I want to use my platform to be an anti-cyberbullying person. And then I live in an apartment complex, and there are a lot of times where my dad will leave knives out on the counter. So I try and put them away, or my friends will cut food with knives. But really, at the end of the day, I always see girls with black hair on TV or girls with blonde hair at a certain point with their boyfriends and things like that. The way I look with my schizophrenia is Hecate plays games with me. Um, there's the Hecate Goddess of Darkest Night prayer that I say, which is Hecate Goddess of Darkest Night, send my troubles all to flight, burn them in thy sacred fires and replace them with my heart's desires, and then you say Hecate in the name of your prayer. I was in a holding cell once. I'm not sure why. I don't remember why. I fought a boy named Caleb 3 years ago. And some people know where my Ryan George Fair Facebook is. I have a few Ryan George Fair channels. There were black people that wanted my disability money. There's Wonder Bread that leaves me comments on my videos. There is Brian that I had a conversation with the other day. There is Kelly J. Caudill that I like more than Billy Wesley Fouts, that I did things with only on one day when I was 21 or 22 in an elevator. There is Jasmine and Brandy, who are real people. There is 2 Jared people, coincidence people. There is Sean Wright and Brandon Tilms and Brendan Drexler and Sean Shellman. And Brian Silva has girlfriends, and even though I'm 7.5, almost 8 down there, I couldn't make a girlfriend no matter what I would do. There was a girl in my alternative school named Sammy that had an STD, so I didn't sleep with her. I was on probation once. I would cuss teachers out of my school, when they would give me hard times. And there are, like I said, there's about 20 of them I'm not friends with anymore, and there's about, 10 of them on my Ryan Fair Facebook that I experienced that are real, even though they diagnosed me with paranoid schizophrenia. Like, there's the Dan Reichley boy that has a Facebook and an Instagram, and the Damon Winning boy. So with my schizophrenia, I have hyperreligiosity, and I listen to Christian and Jewish and Wiccan music. Even though I'm Wiccan, I do listen to Hecate and Zeus music, but I also listen to Jewish music and Christian music, like Hava Nagila and Aisha Woods and Jamie Grace Harper. Because, see, they diagnosed me with Tourette syndrome sometime when I was 7. And I always wanted to be in, like, one of Jamie Grace Harper's videos. But really, I never attempted to go out and buy a camera, and talk about my life or anything like that. Really, I find my life to be cruel because I've been stolen from by people. I've been cheated on. I've had girlfriends that would cheat on me, like Alicia. And then this girl with black hair I was with, we did a threesome. With my friend with black hair. Um, and people think that Ryan George Fair isn't real some days. And then Josh Knight was like, "Well, you're extremely pathetic," even though I was stolen from. And ex friends would make threats to put things about me on Ripoff Report and things like that. When I feel that Billy Wesley Phelps was just because my dad George didn't buy me a car. I feel that Brian was just because Kelly Jeffries, who goes by Kelly Roberts, who is the violin girl, didn't like me, and I feel that Kelly J. Caudill is just because I couldn't find love with females only on one day. After Billy Wesley Phelps, and I was sad. And Kelly J. Caudill has a YouTube channel and he has music. Brian has a Facebook account, but I'm not gonna link it. And then Alicia, my first girlfriend, has a YouTube, which is I Love Ryan Fair. And Sabrina La Rochelle, my fifth girlfriend, is on YouTube as the La Rochelle Crew. And then Brooke Dirks, my second girlfriend, has a Brooke Dirks channel and an Instagram. Tanya has a Facebook, which I'll link, and she's dead now. And then Nadia has a YouTube channel where she's getting married to her husband during the coronavirus. And I've been going to mental hospitals my whole life. And I talk to my friend Brian sometimes that has borderline. But see, when I was like 15 or 16 is when I got involved with Chevrolet. That's when my cousin Harmony and River introduced me to that. Um, and Billy Wesley Phelps became my boyfriend from the time until I was 16 until I was like 20 or 21. And then finally my friend died and I got a car. And that's when I hung out with my friend James. And then that's when Jasmine, the Jasmine and Brandy People Coincidence girl worked at my work. There's also, and like I said, my manager was a woman named Sandy and a woman named Sue. And my first girlfriend, Alicia, cheated on me. Um, and then my black friend died from the coronavirus. And I looked at this house like a prison because a lot of my alternative school friends unfriended me. And for years, my dad George didn't buy me a car, and I think he's real evil. And then he has conversations with a Marjorie Brubaker woman, and he would just get off work and punch me in the face. And his name is George Charles Fair. And my stepdad's name is Tony Mitchell Willie. And if anybody goes on Maryland Judiciary Case Search, they can look up Pamela K. Willie and look at her drug record, or they can look up Tony Mitchell Willie and find about a 21 or a 19 or 17 or 18 page long thing between my stepdad and my stepbrother. And because of my schizophrenia, I wasn't driving. Always being afraid of being pulled over for stupid things, or because I have an anxiety disorder. And I'm a schizophrenic, which means that I hear voices and see things. I have OCD, I have Tourette syndrome, I have bipolar disorder. I have autism, I have schizophrenia, I have OCD. And a lot of the times I'll put my phone on the charger and it won't always charge. Or the dryer in my house doesn't always work, or my Sims 4, my mods don't work, or things like that. There's a girl named Victoria on my Sims 4 that I talk to. And then there is the Dan Wrigley boy that is real. There is Jasmine and Brandy who are real. There is two Jared people, coincidence people. There is Margie Robichaux and Jeanette who are real. There is Alex who stole from me. My car doesn't always work. I had a Firo, and I don't smoke marijuana anymore. I think it's not good for someone who has severe paranoid schizophrenia, so I don't smoke marijuana anymore. But I just sit in my house and I always put things away, like weapons or things like that. Like if my dad were to leave weapons out, I always put them away. And I just drank like Bud Lights or Coronas, but not like heavy alcohol. Um, and then Jeff McCaney is real, and he would always message me. And then there's Brandon Drexler and Brandon Jones and Brandon Tillms and things like that. And people can meet them even though I'm sitting here making this. For those who study schizophrenia or schizoaffective disorder, people who have schizophrenia or schizoaffective disorder tend to have hyper-religiosity tendencies with their schizophrenia, which is what can get their disability pushed through. See, with my schizophrenia, I look at most people in life that I meet like toys that are being played with in a dollhouse by a girl and a man with a beard. And there are times where I'll drive and I'll see girls with black hair, girls with blonde hair. Or my dad will take me to the store. My dad doesn't buy cigarettes for me. My dad George doesn't do simple things for me, and he's evil. And like I said, one time when I was 7 or 8, I went into my dad George's room and I found a gay porno in his room. And then after Billy Wesley Fouts, he would call me a faggot and say "fuck you," punch me in the face because he's evil and heartless. And I didn't care what happened when my black friend died. When people think that Ryan George Farrell in the Rip-Off Report is the boy with black hair and green eyes on Marjorie's Rip-Off Report, and people think that Ryan George Farrell is a cyberbully when really I want to be an anti-cyberbully advocate and help people because for a long time I did participate in trolling, but I don't do that anymore. And I plan to use my story to help people. And I leave friendly comments on Jewish and Christian people videos. And I talked to Michael Stather, Skankisha. There was a guy named Levi that added me on Facebook, and the last thing I told him was I found my fifth girlfriend Sabrina LaRochelle's channel, and he was like, "What does this mean for the story?" What it means, Levi, is that Ryan Rosenzweig made videos about Sherolade, and Sherollade's YouTube channel has 3,000 subscribers, and once a week on Twitter, people want to know what happened to Sherolade, and guess who has all those precious answers? It's me, motherfuckers. And guess who's never getting any answers out of me? No one. I have all those answers, and I love it because people want those answers. But if people want Black Web to be made into a book, let me know. I used to watch the Eileen Wuornos movie, and I was locked in closets when I was young. I liked a mixed girl named Kelly that played the violin, but she didn't like me. And with my schizophrenia, I believe in God and Goddess stuff. And really, I was just like, I don't have to answer questions of anything. People can tell me things I don't know, or friends, or things like that. Or I was blackmailed. I know when people will laugh before they laugh on TV. I know when I see violence in my video game before I see it, or I'll know when one of my Sims will get turned down by a female before they do. But really, I had no problem making love with females because I'm attractive. Let's see, what's my longest video on here? My longest video on here is 23 minutes. I was just going on almost 21 minutes. It is 12:58 p.m. in the afternoon, and it is August 14th, 2022. So my friend Sean messaged me today. My black friend died from the coronavirus, which made me sad. I'm gonna call this ex-girlfriend vlog, ex-boyfriend vlog. I'm getting a residential home. And I'm gonna call this schizophrenia and bipolar depression vlog. And I'm gonna talk about my experiences with being a schizophrenic, with going years without sex, but watching my friends have girlfriends, people thinking that I'm not even a real person some days, or that doesn't have answers to questions that people might want answers to. And I feel like, I try not to have enemies. I think I'm gonna call this "Tries Not to Have Enemies" vlog. Ryan George Fair tries to get along and not have enemies, and anti-cyberbullying vlog. Really, I had 5 girlfriends. I had one boyfriend I did things with named Kelly on one day. I don't play with weapons. I always put them away in my house. I clean up my room. I had a girlfriend with black hair 9 months ago. My first girlfriend, Alicia, cheated on me. Only on one day when I was young, I did things with a boy. I had one boyfriend named Kelly on one day. And then Josh Knight was like, well, it's Charolade, no one cares about it, and that's a lie. Because people watched Charolade, and there were lots of people saying they watched my videos and things like that. And really, once a week on Twitter, people want to know what happened to Billy Wesley Fouts. And I'm going to end this, so I'm going to call this Ryan George Fair tries to have lots of friends and not have enemies vlog. So I hope everybody's good. Much love and peace to everybody from Ryan.